The strange animal morning was quiet in the small human village. The sun had only started to rise, and the air was still cool. Birds were waking up, and the sound of their wings filled the sky. But the boy, the young son of a farmer, was already outside. He liked walking alone in the morning. When the world was silent, he always felt that the morning carried secrets that most people missed. That day, something strange caught his eye. Near the edge of the forest, he saw a creature he had never seen before. It was not a normal animal of Earth. Its body was covered in smooth silver fur that seemed to shine softly. Its eyes glowed with a silver light, and every step it took left a faint shimmer on the ground. The boy stopped breathing for a moment. He thought maybe he was still dreaming. But the creature turned its head and looked straight at him for a second. He felt fear. The eyes of the animal were not wild, not hungry, but intelligent. It looked at him the way people looked at each other, as if it was waiting, as if it wanted him to follow. The boy's heart beat faster. He had been told many times not to wander deep into the forest, but curiosity was stronger than his fear. He took one slow step forward. The creature moved one step deeper into the trees. The boy followed, and the silent chase began. The forest was darker than usual. The tall trees blocked the sun, and the air grew cooler every time the boy thought he would lose sight of the animal. Its glowing body appeared again, sometimes ahead, sometimes to the side. It never moved too fast, as if it wanted him close. The boy whispered to himself, "What are you? Where are you taking me?" Of course, no answer came, only the sound of the animal's light footsteps. Minutes passed, and the boy realized he was far from home. The path was unfamiliar. The silence of the forest became heavy. Even the birds had stopped singing. The boy's breath was loud in his own ears. Still, he could not stop. Something inside him told him this was important. This was not just an animal. This was something greater. The forest seemed to open around him as he went deeper. The air smelled strange, like rain mixed with metal. Every leaf seemed sharper. Every shadow seemed alive. The animal finally stopped near an old stone wall. The boy froze. He had never seen a wall in this forest before. The stones were ancient, covered with strange markings, lines and circles carved in patterns he could not understand. The animal raised its glowing paw and touched one of the carvings. The wall trembled softly. Dust fell from the cracks. Then, slowly, a hidden doorway opened. A cold blue light spilled out, painting the trees in ghostly color. The boy's mouth went dry. This was not possible. This was not Earth's work. He looked back. The path behind him was dark and silent. Should he run home? Should he call his father? But his legs refused to move away. Something was pulling him forward. The animal stepped through the glowing doorway and looked back. Its eyes shone brighter. The boy took a deep breath. His hands shook, but his feet moved on their own. He stepped into the doorway, and the world behind him disappeared. Inside was a tunnel unlike anything he had seen. The walls were smooth, made of black stone that reflected the blue light. Lines of glowing patterns ran across the surface, like rivers of energy flowing inside the walls. The air was colder, but it hummed with power. Every step he took echoed. He felt as if he was walking inside the heart of a machine. The animal walked ahead, calm and sure. The boy whispered, "This is not real. This cannot be real." But it was real. The tunnel stretched deeper and deeper, and with every step, his fear grew. But so did his curiosity. He touched the wall with his hand. The surface felt warm, almost alive. The glowing lines reacted to his touch. They pulsed brighter, like veins of light. The boy quickly pulled his hand back. His chest rose and fell with heavy breaths. This was no cave. This was not built by humans. Someone else had been here long before him. The animal finally stopped at the end of the tunnel. Before them was a vast chamber, a space so huge that his eyes could not see the ceiling. Machines stood in silence, tall and strange. Floating orbs of light moved slowly through the air. It was beautiful, but terrifying. The boy knew at that moment his life had changed forever. He did not know if he had walked into a dream or into a nightmare, but one thing was certain. The creature had led him here for a reason, and whatever that reason was, it was only the beginning. The hidden path boy stood frozen at the edge of the glowing chamber. His small body trembled, his eyes wide at the sight before him. It was not only size that shocked him, but the feeling that this place was alive. The walls breathed with light, the air pulsed with hidden power. It was as if the ground beneath his feet carried the heartbeat of something ancient. The alien animal walked ahead with calm steps. Its silver body reflected the blue glow, and it looked almost like a creature made of light. The boy followed slowly, his footsteps loud in the endless silence. Every echo made him jump. The chamber stretched far, with bridges and tunnels leading into more shadows. But the animal chose only one path, narrow and glowing faintly with strange symbols. The boy bent down to look at the glowing marks. They looked like writing, but not like human writing. Curved lines, circles, and arrows that seemed to move when he stared too long. He rubbed his eyes, but the symbols still shifted, almost like they were alive, trying to tell him something. A shiver ran down his spine. "This is not meant for me," he whispered, yet his feet carried him forward, following the silent guide. The path grew tighter, and the blue light dimmed. Now the only light came from the glowing fur of the animal. The boy felt both comfort and fear. Comfort, because the creature never left him. Fear, because he still did not know why it had chosen him. The deeper they walked, the more the walls changed. The smooth black stone became clear, almost like glass. Behind the glass, shapes moved, strange shadows that floated as if trapped. The boy gasped. Were they alive, spirits, or only tricks of light? He stepped closer, but the animal growled softly, warning him not to touch. The growl echoed in the tunnel, but it was not loud, it was protective. The boy nodded, his throat dry. He realized then that the animal was not just guiding him, it was protecting him. From what? He did not yet know. The tunnel ended at a tall archway. The doorway shimmered as if made of water. The boy hesitated, his heart beating fast. The animal passed through without fear. Its body rippled like light across the surface and vanished. The boy clenched his fists. He thought of his father, his village, the safety of home. But he also thought of the adventure, the mystery, the truth waiting beyond. If he turned back now, he would never know. So he closed his eyes and stepped through. The world on the other side stole his breath. He was no longer in a tunnel. He stood in a vast corridor that looked endless. The walls were covered with glowing veins of light, flowing like rivers. Above him, the ceiling showed a night sky filled with stars, but he knew they were not real stars. It was a projection. A map of the galaxy, planets, moons, and systems glowed across the sky. Some were red, some green, some shone like silver fire. The boy whispered, "This is a path across the stars." The animal waited at the center of the corridor. It turned its head slowly, its silver eyes brighter than ever. The boy understood then this was not a simple animal. It was something ancient, a guardian of this hidden place, and it had chosen him for a reason. As he walked forward, the stars above shifted. The map changed. Lines connected different planets together. One line glowed brighter than all the others. It connected a faraway star to a small blue dot. The boy knew instantly what that blue dot was. Earth. The map was showing him the way. But to what? He could not understand. He reached the center, where a round platform waited. The animal stepped onto it and sat calmly. The boy stepped beside it, his knees shaking. The platform lit up beneath their feet. Symbols appeared again, brighter and sharper. The walls trembled. With a deep humming sound, the boy looked around in fear. "Is this safe? Am I supposed to be here?" he whispered. But the animal did not move, its eyes fixed on the map above, as if waiting for something. Suddenly, the stars above shifted again. A figure appeared in the middle of the corridor, made of pure light. It was tall, human-like, but not human. Its face was calm. its body shining with patterns like the stars. The boy stumbled back, his breath caught in his throat. The figure raised its hand slowly, and the corridor grew silent. When it spoke, its voice was soft but powerful. "You have entered the path of the ancients," the figure said. "You are the first of your kind to walk it again." The boy's heart thundered in his chest. His lips trembled. Who are you?" The figure did not answer directly. Instead, it pointed to the glowing blue dot, the earth, and then to the boy himself. "You are the son of humanity." The voice continued, "And the path has chosen you." The boy shook his head, his voice barely a whisper. "I'm just a child. I can't be chosen." But the animal at his side let out a low sound, like a soft growl mixed with a hum. It was as if it agreed with the figure. The boy realized then that there was no mistake. He had been brought here for a reason, and the hidden path was only the beginning of that reason. The figure of light faded. The stars above shifted once more. The corridor returned to silence. Only the animal and the boy stood on the glowing platform. The boy felt small, but he also felt something new, a spark of courage inside him. He looked at the animal, and the animal looked back. For the first time, the boy did not see a strange creature. He saw a companion, a guide, maybe even a protector. And deep inside, he knew one thing: his life could never go back to what it was. The forgotten Basidi boy stood silently on the glowing platform. His heart still raced from the voice of light that had called him the son of humanity. The corridor around him no longer shifted, but he felt it was only the surface of something deeper. The alien animal sat calmly, its silver eyes fixed on him, as if waiting for him to decide. He whispered to himself, "Why me? Why not someone else?" But there was no answer, only the quiet hum of hidden machines. Slowly, the boy stepped off the platform. The corridor stretched ahead, opening into another path. The animal rose and walked forward, its glowing for lighting the way. The boy followed. Though every step felt heavier than the last, the air grew warmer, and the walls glowed brighter. It was as if the place itself was waking up after a long sleep. At the end of the passage, the boy entered a chamber so large it made him dizzy. Rows of massive towers stood in silence, each covered in glowing veins of blue light. Some floated gently above the ground, humming like giant sleeping beasts. Others were broken, lying in pieces, wires spilling out like the roots of a dead tree. The ceiling stretched so high it vanished into darkness. The boy whispered, "This is not just a tunnel. This is a city." The animal padded quietly to the center of the chamber. There, a round table-like structure glowed with faint symbols. The boy stepped closer, running his fingers across the surface. The moment his skin touched the symbols, the entire chamber came alive. Machines lit up one by one, sending bright pulses into the air. The floor beneath him vibrated, and the broken towers flickered with light. It was like breathing life into a sleeping giant. The boy gasped as holograms burst into the air. Images of stars, planets, and battles filled the space above him. He saw great ships with silver wings fighting in the black void. He saw planets burning, their surfaces cracked with fire. He saw humans, men and women in strange suits fighting side by side with alien allies. And then, he saw Earth, blue and small, surrounded by shields of light. But the shields broke, and the vision faded. The boy stumbled back, his chest tight. What was that? Was that the past? Or the future? He whispered. The animal gave a soft sound, almost like a sigh. It sat near the glowing table, watching the boy with calm patience. He looked into its silver eyes and felt a sudden understanding. This place was not just a city. It was a base, a forgotten base left behind by those who came before. And somehow, he had awakened it. The chamber walls shifted again, revealing doors he had not seen before. One opened slowly, with the sound of grinding stone. The boy hesitated, but his curiosity pulled him forward. The animal walked ahead without fear, and he followed. Inside, the room was smaller, but filled with strange machines. Floating orbs of light hovered above, glowing faintly as if waiting for something. The boy touched one of the orbs, and instantly it flashed. A voice filled the air, not the calm voice of the figure before, but a recording. It spoke in broken English. This space, last hope, if found, humanity must rise again. The boy froze, his skin crawling. The voice sounded old, heavy with time. It was a warning, but also a message. He felt chills as the voice faded away. He was not supposed to be here, yet everything was designed for him, for a human, for someone like him. The boy's eyes widened as he realized the space had been built for humanity. But humanity had forgotten it. It had waited in silence for years, decades, maybe centuries, and now he was the one to discover it. He felt small, too small for the weight of the secret pressing on him. But deep inside, something stronger was growing courage. He whispered, "Maybe I was meant to find this." The animal approached one of the tall machines and pressed its paw against a panel. The machine hummed and projected another vision. This time, it was not war but creation. He saw humans and aliens together, building great cities among the stars. He saw them laughing, trading, living as one. Then the vision shattered again, showing a dark fleet of unknown creatures attacking. The alliance broke, and Earth was cut off. The boy's eyes filled with tears as he whispered, "We were part of something greater, and we lost it." The animal looked at him with calm eyes. It was as if it was saying, "Now you understand." The boy clenched his fists, his fear slowly turning into determination. If this space held the truth of humanity's past, then it also held the key to its future. But he also knew something else. Secrets like this never stayed hidden forever. If he had found this place, others could too, and not all would come with peace. The boy stood tall, his small frame glowing under the light of the machines. His voice trembled, but it carried strength. "I don't know why you chose me, but I will not run," he said. The animal stepped closer and touched its head against his arm. It was a gesture of trust, a bond. The boy knew then that he was not alone. Together, they would face whatever came next. He looked at the glowing towers, the endless machines, the sleeping city around him. "This is not forgotten anymore," he whispered. "This is only the beginning." Asterisk. The message of the ancient's voice stood in the middle of the forgotten base. The towers hummed around him, the air thick with energy, visions of battles, burning worlds, and lost alliances still played in his mind. But now the chamber grew silent again, almost too silent. He felt the weight of invisible eyes, as if the very walls were watching him. The alien animal padded forward, stopping at a tall, broken pillar. Its glowing paw touched the surface, and the pillar came alive. The cracks healed, the stone smoothed, and light poured from the carvings. A deep rumble filled the chamber, shaking the ground under his feet. The boy gasped and stepped back. From the center of the room, a figure of light appeared once more. But this time it was not a silent guardian. This was different, older, heavier with purpose. The figure stood tall, human-like, but its skin shimmered like crystal. Its eyes glowed with the weight of countless years. When it spoke, the chamber shook. "Child of Earth, you are not here by accident." The boy froze, his lips parting, but no sound came out. The voice continued, calm but filled with power. "This place was built by your ancestors, when humanity still walked among the stars." The boy's heart pounded. "Our ancestors. We were here before," he whispered. The figure nodded slowly. "Before your people fell into silence, you were part of the Great Alliance, builders and explorers, protectors and dreamers. But war tore it apart, and Earth was hidden, forgotten, waiting for the day one of you would find the path again." The boy's knees felt weak. He wanted to believe it was only a dream, yet everything around him was too real. He asked, his voice trembling, "Why me? I am only a boy." The figure's eyes burned brighter. "Because curiosity is courage, and courage is the first step to destiny." The boy swallowed hard, his small fists trembling. The animal at his side let out a low hum, as if agreeing with the figure. The boy looked at it and then back at the glowing presence. Why did you hide this from us? Why now? He asked. The chamber filled with a deep echo as the figure answered. Humanity was not ready. The galaxy still burns with enemies who would destroy you. But the time has come. The shadows have returned, and Earth must choose rise. Again or fall forever. The boy felt cold as he whispered, shadows? The figure raised its hand, and a new vision exploded above. The stars darkened, and from the void, ships appeared black, spiked, monstrous. They moved like swarms of insects, endless in number. Everywhere they passed, light vanished, planets broke, fire spread. These are the ones who ended the alliance, the figure said. They are searching still, hungry for Earth, for humanity, for the last spark of what we were. The boy's body shook with fear. But something else stirred inside him. A voice deep in his chest whispered, we are not weak. We are not prey. He clenched his fists tighter. The figure's voice grew softer now, almost gentle. You cannot fight them alone, but you can awaken what was lost. Within this space are keys, knowledge, weapons, and messages for your people. But the choice is not ours. It is yours. Do you return to your village and bury this secret? Or do you carry it, protect it, and give humanity the chance to rise again? The boy's breath came fast, his heart hammering, his mind raced. He was only a child, yet the weight of the world pressed on him. He looked at the animal, his only companion in this strange journey. Its silver eyes glowed calmly, waiting, trusting him. The boy whispered, if I choose wrong, my people will suffer. The figure replied, if you choose nothing, they will suffer even more. The silence stretched long. The boy closed his eyes, remembering his father working in the fields, remembering the laughter of his village, the warmth of the sun. He thought of how small they seemed, and yet, in this vast hidden chamber, he understood something new. Humans had once walked the stars. Humans had once been powerful. He could not let that history remain forgotten. He opened his eyes, courage flickering inside. I will not hide this, he said, his voice stronger than before. I will protect it, and I will tell them humanity will rise again. The figure of light studied him for a long moment. Then it bowed its head. Then the path is open, and the message is carried once more. The chamber walls shook as hidden doors slid open. More tunnels, more rooms, glowing faintly in the dark. The boy realized the base had accepted him. It was no longer silent, no longer sleeping. It was awake, waiting for him to lead. The figure faded, leaving only the hum of machines. The boy stood taller, his eyes fixed on the glowing pots ahead. The animal brushed against his leg gently, and in that moment, he felt something he had not felt since this journey began. Hope. He whispered, softly, but with fire in his heart, this is only the beginning. The truth revealed. Boy stood in the awakened base. The figure of light had vanished, but its words burned in his mind. Humanity must rise again. The tunnel stretched open before him, glowing like veins of a living body. The animal padded quietly at his side, silent yet steady. The boy whispered, you knew all this time, didn't you? The creature did not answer, but its silver eyes shone with something almost human. He walked deeper into the new passage, his small hand brushing against the glowing walls. Symbols shifted under his touch, alive and moving. The tunnel opened into another chamber, smaller than the last. At the center stood a tall structure shaped like a crystal tower. The boy stepped closer, and the tower lit up. A voice filled the room. But this one was not like the others. It was broken, weary, carrying sadness in every word. To the children of Earth, if you hear this, then the shadows have not yet destroyed you. We were once more than what you are now. We built worlds, we shaped stars, we fought, and we lost. The boy's breath caught in his chest. The voice continued, trembling, we were betrayed. Not only by the enemy, but by our own. Some of humanity chose fear. They sided with the darkness. They gave up the stars to save themselves. And because of that choice, Earth was hidden, cut away, forgotten. The boy staggered back, His heart heavy. Humans had not only been victims, they had been part of their own downfall. He felt anger rise in his chest. How could they betray their own people? He whispered, but the voice was not finished. The Guardians were built, shaped in many forms, animals, machines, servants of light. Their duty was to watch, to wait, to find the next one who could lead. If you are here, child, then one of them has brought you. The boy turned slowly to the animal. Its silver body shimmered in the blue glow. For the first time, he saw it not as a strange creature, but as something far more, a guardian. He whispered, his voice shaking. The animal's eyes softened. It stepped closer and touched its glowing forehead gently against his hand. A wave of warmth spread through him. He felt images flash inside his mind, not words, but memories. The guardian running across alien fields, standing beside ancient humans, watching battles in the sky, watching empires fall, and finally waiting, endlessly waiting for someone to follow. Tears filled the boy's eyes. You've been waiting for me, he whispered. The guardian gave a soft sound, a hum mixed with a growl. It was not speech, but it was understanding. The boy realized then that this creature was not only guiding him, it was testing him, protecting him, choosing him. The tower glowed brighter, and the voice grew clearer. If you carry this message, you will not carry it alone. The guardians will walk with you. But know this, the shadows will feel the awakening. They will come, and when they do, you must not run. You must remind your people of what they were, and what they must become. The chamber fell silent. The boy stood still, his heart a storm of fear and determination. He looked at the guardian. Why me? Why not my father? Or someone stronger? The guardian's silver eyes shone softly. It lowered its head, as if saying strength is not in the body. It begins in the heart. The boy wiped his face, his voice small but steady. I am afraid, but I will not turn away. The guardian let out a deep sound, almost proud. The boy smiled faintly, though fear still weighed on him. He was beginning to understand the truth. He was not chosen because he was the strongest. He was chosen because he was willing to walk forward when no one else would. But as he stood there, the chamber shook violently. The lights flickered. The floor trembled. The boy grabbed the side of the tower, his eyes wide with terror. What's happening? He cried. The guardian growled, its body glowing brighter. From deep within the base came a sound, sharp and alien, a siren unlike anything human. The boy's chest tightened. He understood instantly. The awakening had not gone unnoticed. The shadows or something worse had felt it. The tower flashed one final message before fading. Remember the truth. Carry it. Protect it. You are not alone. Rise, son of humanity. The light died, leaving only silence. The boy stood there, trembling but unbroken. The guardian stepped beside him, its silver glow a shield against the dark. The boy whispered, his voice firm despite the fear, we will not hide anymore. We will rise. The coming threat boy's chest rose and fell quickly. The last words of the tower still echoed in his ears. The shadows will come. The chamber was no longer calm. The floor trembled under his feet. The walls pulsed with sharp bursts of red light. The silence of the base was broken, replaced with a deep, warning hum. It was as if the place itself knew danger had arrived. The guardian growled low, its silver body glowing brighter. Its ears twitched, its eyes fixed on the darkness. Beyond the chamber, the boy whispered, something is here. He tried to stay calm, but fear gripped his chest like iron. The hum grew louder, followed by a strange clicking sound, not mechanical, not natural. Something alive, yet not. The sound echoed through the tunnels, sharp and cold. The boy's hands shook as he looked around. The machines in the chamber flickered, some shutting down as if hiding. Others flared brighter, preparing for something unseen. Then, from the far end of the chamber, shadows moved. At first they looked like smoke, twisting and curling in the air. But the boy's eyes widened in horror when the smoke began to form shapes with limbs, claws, and hollow eyes glowing faint red. The shadows had found him. The guardian stepped forward, its silver glow flaring like a shield. The creatures hissed, their forms unstable, half solid and half air. The boy staggered back, his heart pounding. He whispered, "What are they?" The guardian growled in answer. But the boy understood without words. These were scouts of the enemy. Not full armies, but enough to test, enough to kill. One of the shadow creatures lunged, its claws reaching for him. The boy cried out, but before it touched him, the guardian leapt. Silver light clashed with black smoke. The chamber shook with the force of it. The shadow hissed and broke apart like dust. But more emerged from the walls. The boy stumbled toward the glowing table at the chamber's center. He pressed his hand against it, desperate. "Help me, please," he shouted. The table responded with a surge of blue light. Symbols rose into the air, and a shield of energy formed around him, thin, fragile, but enough to keep the shadows back. The boy gasped, his eyes wide. He had awakened the base, and the base was protecting him. The guardian fought fiercely, moving like lightning. Its silver body slashed through the shadows, burning them with pure light. But for everyone it destroyed, another slipped out of the walls. The boy realized with terror that the shadows were endless. They were not truly here, they were feeding, through cracks, through signals, projections of the real threat beyond. The boy's heart pounded as he shouted to the guardian, "We can't fight forever." The guardian growled, pushing another creature back. Then it turned its eyes to the far wall. The boy followed its gaze, and his breath caught. A new doorway had opened, glowing faintly in the chaos. The guardian barked, urging him forward. The boy nodded, though fear almost froze his legs. He ran, the shield of energy flickering around him. The shadows struck at it, their claws leaving cracks of red fire. The boy cried out, but kept running. The guardian leapt beside him, striking the creatures aside. Together, they reached the doorway. The tunnel beyond was narrow, lit with faint blue light. The boy stumbled through, gasping for air. Behind him, the shadows hissed but did not follow. The doorway sealed with a heavy slam. The hum of danger faded, leaving only his own breathing. The boy leaned against the wall, trembling. We barely made it," he whispered. The guardian shook itself, its glow dimming but steady. It stepped close to him, pressing its head gently against his shoulder. The boy felt comfort, but also the truth. This was only the beginning. The tunnel stretched ahead into darkness. As he walked, his voice cracked with fear and anger. "They know now. They know I'm here." The guardian gave a soft growl, confirming his words. The boy clenched his fists. "They'll come for Earth." The tunnel led into another chamber, smaller but brighter. At the center stood a tall column, glowing with lines of light. The boy approached slowly, his heart still pounding from the fight. The column pulsed, then spoke with a voice calm but urgent. "You have awakened the base, and now the shadows see you. You must prepare, child of Earth, for they are coming." The boy swallowed hard. His voice was soft but steady. "I'm only one boy. How can I fight them?" The column answered, "You cannot fight alone, but you can awaken what is lost. You carry the signal now. Others will hear. Others will follow." The boy's eyes widened. "Others? You mean more humans?" The column glowed brighter. "Yes, and not only humans. Allies still remain in the stars, sleeping, waiting. They will come when the call is made." The boy stood frozen. He thought of his small village, his father working in the fields, the people who had no idea what lived beneath their world. He thought of the shadows, endless and hungry, and he thought of the voice of the ancients, telling him humanity must rise. He clenched his fists tighter. "They won't take us, not again," he whispered. The guardian's eyes shone bright. In agreement, the boy looked into the dark tunnel ahead. His fear had not vanished, but something stronger had taken its place. Resolve. The coming threat was real, and he was no longer running from it. He was walking straight toward it. The new dawn tunnel felt endless, but the boy did not stop. His small footsteps echoed like drums of war in the silence. The guardian walked at his side, its silver body glowing faintly. The danger of the shadows still clung to the air, but for the first time, the boy's heart did not beat only with fear, it beat with fire. He whispered to himself, "I am not only a boy anymore." The words sounded strange, but they felt true. He had seen the past of humanity. He had seen its full. He had faced the shadows and survived. Now, he carried something greater than fear. He carried the weight of a world. The tunnel opened into a wide chamber filled with strange machines. At the center stood a massive sphere of light, floating gently. Humming like a living star, the boy stepped closer, his face glowing in its brightness. The guardian lowered its head in respect. The sphere spoke with a voice unlike the others, calm, warm, alive. "You have walked the path of the ancients, child of earth. You have seen the truth, felt the danger, and chosen to stand." The boy nodded slowly, his voice trembling but strong. "I will not let them take us. I will not let us be forgotten again." The sphere pulsed brighter. "Then you are ready to carry the dawn," it said. "The dawn," the boy whispered. The sphere opened, revealing a small glowing crystal. It floated gently into his hands, warm and heavy. "This is the signal, the fire of your people. With it, you can awaken others, you can call allies, but beware, child, for the shadows will chase the dawn. They will try to extinguish it. Protect it, carry it, never let it fall." The boy held the crystal against his chest. Its light sank into him, filling his veins with warmth. For a moment, he saw visions, humans building ships again, reaching the stars, allies returning, standing beside them, the shadows screaming as they were driven back into the void. The boy gasped and staggered, but he did not let go. The dawn was his now, and through him, it belonged to humanity. The chamber rumbled, the sphere faded, its last words soft like a whisper. "Rise, son of humanity. This is your beginning." The boy turned to the guardian. The creature's silver eyes shone with pride. He reached out and touched its head, smiling weakly. "You knew, didn't you? You were waiting for me all this time." The guardian gave a soft growl, a sound that felt like agreement. The boy laughed faintly, though tears ran down his face. "I'm not alone anymore," he said. And for the first time, he truly believed it. The path out of the base opened before him. Blue light carved a way through the darkness. The boy walked slowly, the crystal glowing faintly in his hand. The guardian walked beside him, each step strong and sure. Together, they climbed back toward the surface. When they emerged from the hidden doorway, the forest greeted them. The morning sun spilled across the trees, warm and golden. Birds sang. Again, the air smelled of life. The boy stood quietly, breathing deeply. The world looked the same, but he was not the same. He whispered, "Everything has changed." He looked up at the sky, blue and endless. But now, when he looked at it, he did not see only clouds and sunlight. He saw the map of the stars. He saw the endless road waiting for his people, and he knew the shadows were out there, watching, waiting. But he also knew something else. Humanity would not bow, not again. The guardian nudged his arm gently, reminding him of the crystal. The boy lifted it toward the sun, and the light from both blended together. He whispered softly, but with fire in his heart, "This is our dawn. This is where it begins." Far away, deep in the sky, the shadows stirred. Their whispers crawled through the dark, sensing the spark of light. They would come, but they would not find a broken people. They would find a world ready to rise. The boy walked down from the forest edge, his small frame carrying the weight of something far greater. Behind him, the hidden base returned to silence, waiting. But it was no longer forgotten. It had passed its fire. The dawn of humanity had returned. The boy smiled faintly, his eyes fixed on the horizon. The guardian padded beside him, silver light dancing in the sun. The journey ahead was long, dangerous, and heavy, but he was ready. He whispered one last time, "This is only the beginning."